Russell
When I speak
Marion
of having
Nelson,
confidence
ACE II
before
President
God,
of the Church of
I'm
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, born September the 9th, 1924, Salt Lake City, Utah, United States. Deed, September the 27th, 2025, age 101 years, Salt Lake City, Utah, United States. Children, Emily Nelson, Whitwer, Russell Melson Jr. Seymour. Spouse, Wendy Watson Nelson, M. 2006, Dunsel White M. Punt 1945 Education, University of Minnesota 1954 Seymour. Parents, Edna Anderson Nelson, Marion C. Nelson, Russell Marion Nelson Sr., an American religious leader and surgeon who was the 17th president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. LDS Church. Nelson was a member of the LDS Church's Quorum of the 12 Apostles for nearly 34 years and was the Quorum president from 2015 to 2018. As church president, Nelson was recognized by the church as the prophet, seer, and revelator. A native of Salt Lake City, Utah, Nelson attended the University of Utah for his undergraduate and medical school education. He earned a Bachelor of Arts in Basic Biological Sciences with high honors in 1945 and a Doctor of Medicine degree in 1947 at age 22. He then did his medical residency and earned a Ph.D. at the University of Minnesota, where he was a member of the research team developing the heart-lung machine that in 1951 supported the first human open-heart surgery using cardiopulmonary bypass after serving in the U.S. Army Medical Corps during the Korean War. Nelson returned to Salt Lake City and accepted a professorship at the University of Utah School of Medicine. He spent the next 29 years working in the field of cardiothoracic surgery. Nelson became a noted heart surgeon and served as president of the Society for Vascular Surgery and the Utah Medical Association. Nelson served in a variety of lay LDS church leadership positions during his surgical career, beginning locally in Salt Lake City and then as the LDS Church's Sunday School General President from 1971 to 1979. In 1984, Nelson and Juris Dallin H. Oaks were selected to fill 2 vacancies in the LDS Church's Quorum of the 12 Apostles, Early Life and Education. Nelson was born on September 9, 1924 in Salt Lake City, Utah, to Floss Edna Nay Anderson, Asi and Marion Clavar Nelson 1897-1999D. He had 2 sisters, Marjorie E. 1922-2016 and Enid 1926-2019 and a brother Robert H. 1930 on 2014. Nelson's father was a reporter for the Deseret News and later became general manager of Gillum Advertising, Utah's earliest advertising agency. His parents were not active in the Latter-day Saint faith while he was a youth, but they did send him to Sunday school, 13, and he was baptized a member of the LDS Church at age 16. Nelson studied at LDS Business College in his mid-teens concurrently with high school enrollment and worked as an assistant secretary at a bank. He graduated from high school at age 16 and enrolled at the University of Utah, where he was a member of the Beta Epsilon chapter of Sigma Chi and Owl and Chi. He graduated in 1945 with a Bachelor of Arts and Phi Beta Kappa membership. He then attended the University of Utah School of Medicine, graduating with a Doctor of Medicine degree in 1947, ranked first in his class. Nelson began his first year of medical school while still an undergraduate, and he completed the 4-year MD program in only 3 years. After medical school, Nelson went to the University of Minnesota for his medical residency. He became a member of surgeon Clarence Dennis's research team developing the heart-lung machine that in April 1951 supported the first human open-heart surgery using cardiopulmonary bypass. Nelson received a Ph.D. from Minnesota in 1954 for his research contributions. Medical career. Nelson served a 2-year term of duty in the U.S. Army Medical Corps during the Korean War and was stationed at Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C. While on duty, he was assigned to a research group formed by the commandant of the graduate school at Walter Reed, Cole William S. Stone, and led by Fiorindo A. Simeone, a professor of surgery at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, who had been a clinical investigator in the Mediterranean theater during World War II. This team was focused on ways to improve the treatment of the wounded, and was sent to all 5 MASH units active in Korea along with 2 major evacuation hospitals, several field station hospitals, a prisoner of war camp, and larger evacuation hospitals in Japan, Hawaii, and the mainland United States in order to implement such improvements. At one point, the team came close enough to the front that they received fire from enemy artillery positions, which missed them. After 20 months in service, he left active duty at the rank of captain. Following his military service, he did a year of work in surgical training at Massachusetts General Hospital. President of the Church. With the death of Monson on January 2, 2018, Nelson became the anticipated successor to the Church's presidency. Nelson signed 1,150 mission calls as the presiding apostle. After being ordained and set apart as church president on January 14, 2018, Nelson was introduced to church members and the media 2 days later, along with Oakes as his first counselor and Henry B. Eyring as second counselor. Nelson chose not to retain Dieta F. Uchtdorf, who had served as Monson's second counselor in the new first presidency. This marked the first time since 1985 that a new church president had not retained a previously serving counselor. On April 14, 2022, Nelson surpassed Gordon B. Hinckley to become the oldest president in the history of the church. On August 8, 2022, Nelson became the church's oldest apostle ever, surpassing David B. Height. Nelson turned 100 on September 9, 2024. The LDS Church commemorated his birthday with a globally broadcast live stream showcasing his life and church service. Worldwide ministry. Since becoming church president, Nelson has visited members of the LDS Church in various areas of the world. Up through August 2019, he had visited 16 countries, addressing thousands of members of the faith. The first trip, called a Global Ministry Tour by the Church, occurred in April 2018 when Nelson, along with his wife, and Jeffrey R. Holland and his wife met with Latter-day Saints in London, England, Jerusalem, Nairobi, Kenya, Harare, Zimbabwe, Bengaluru, India, Bangkok, Thailand, Hong Kong, and Lae, Hawaii. In June 2018, Nelson traveled to Alberta, Canada, where his second wife was born and raised, and gave 3 devotional addresses in 3 consecutive evenings. In September 2018, Nelson visited the Dominican Republic where he gave an entire talk in Spanish, which was believed to be the first time a church president had given an extended talk in a formal setting in a language other than English. On the same trip, he visited Puerto Rico. On February 10, 2019, Nelson spoke to church members in Arizona at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. In addition to the large crowd in attendance, the devotional was broadcast across the state. On March 9, 2019, Nelson met with Pope Francis at the Vatican. The event marked the first time in history that a pope and an LDS church president met face-to-face. The meeting took place the day before the church's Rome, Italy temple was dedicated. In August 2019, Nelson visited Guatemala, Colombia, Ecuador, Argentina, and Brazil. Marriages and children. While a student at the University of Utah, Nelson met and began dating fellow Utah student Dancel White 1926-2005. They dated for 3 years, then married on August 31st, 1945 in the Salt Lake Temple. Together they had 10 children, 9 daughters: Marcia, Wendy Gloria, Brenda, Sylvia, Emily, 1900 and Acton Vimsis, 1990 Vimsis Marcia, Lowry, Rosalie, and Marjorie, and a son Ruselger BP. 1972. Dancel White was a native of Perry, Utah, and first met Nelson when they were the co-leads in a musical produced at the University of Utah. During the 1950s, Dancel was a member of the Tabernacle Choir. Dancel Nelson died unexpectedly at their home in Salt Lake City on February 12, 2005 at age 78. The following year, Nelson married Wendy L. Watson B. 1950 in the Salt Lake Temple on April 6, 2006. Watson, originally from Raymond, Alberta, was a professor of marriage and family therapy at Bayou prior to her retirement in 2006. Her marriage to Nelson is her first death. Nelson died on September 27, 2025 in Salt Lake City.